Hi, our lesson today is about speed. This lesson, you will not be able to find it in your books. You have to take it from the PowerPoint, and I will ask you to write notes in your science copybook and to solve two exercises as well. To start about speed, we have the big question, what is speed? I'm going to present this problem to you. Usually they put on the roads signs with a speed limit. And when the car passes, how can we decide if the car has broken the rule or not of the speed limit? To know, I'm going to help you by asking these questions and following some slides. Let's go to the next slide then. Which one is faster? How can I know the speed and which one is faster? How can you tell? I'm going to present on this slide a bicycle and a car, and they are going to cover the same distance as you can see on my screen. The distance for both is going to be the same. So both the car and the bicycle are going to cover the same distance. Which one do you think is faster? The cyclist took about 13 seconds in order to cover this distance. What about the car? The car, it took much less time in order to cover the distance. So which one is faster? Both of them, they covered the same distance. But which one is faster? The one that took less time to cover the same distance. Now, who's faster? Oh, again, a man walking or a man running? And how can we tell? You can directly tell me that the man running is faster. Okay, we can look at our stopwatches and let's say I will give them, both of them, I will give them 2 seconds in order to cover a certain distance. So I will let the runner run first. Within 2 seconds, he covered a certain distance. The second runner, a walker, he covered a shorter distance. Both of them, they were running or walking within 2 seconds, but the man running could run a longer distance, while as the man walking, he only covered a very short distance. So what does speed depend on? To say which one is faster, which one is slower, we have to talk about speed. What does speed depend on? Speed depends on two things, the time and the distance. So, by definition, what is speed? Speed is the measure of the distance covered within a given period of time. So, let me explain it like that. Let's say you have a shop next to your house. How much time does it need you in order to cover this distance from your home to the shop? Let's say the first time you were walking, the second time you were running. Or let's say when you went down to the shop, you were running, while coming back, you were walking. So speed depends on the distance covered within a certain time. How How can you calculate speed? To calculate speed, you have to use the formula speed equals distance over time. As if I'm saying in this formula, speed is the distance covered in a given time. We represent it by symbols. S equals d over t, or S equals distance over time. Now let's use the units. Speed in meters per second equals distance in meters over time in seconds. M stands for meters. S stands for seconds. The distance usually is measured in meters or kilometers or centimeters. The time is measured in seconds or minutes or hours. The speed, according to the example, it is measured in meters per second. Over here we represent it as seconds. It can be kilometers per hour. It can be centimeters per minute. It can be any unit. It depends on the distance and on the time. Let us start with practice 1. It takes a car 2 hours to travel 40 kilometers during rush hour traffic. So, this car will take 2 hours to cover a distance of 40 kilometers during the traffic. Usually, the car during traffic does not keep the same speed. Sometimes, when there is traffic, it will slow down or stop. When there is no traffic, it will speed up. So that's why they are asking you to calculate the average speed, because it's impossible for the car to have continuous speed. How do we solve? We put two titles, the given and the formula. We put under the given everything that they have given to us in the practice. Like the time, it's 2 hours, the distance 40 kilometers, and the speed, we put question mark because we don't know it. We are trying to find it, but the unit should be in kilometers per hour. Under the formula, I put the formula of speed, which is equal distance over time. Then I substitute the distance by its value, which is 40 kilometers, and the time by its value, which is 2 hours, and then I divide the distance by the time, or 40 kilometers by 2 hours. The answer is 20 kilometers per hour. So I can say that the average speed of the car is 20 kilometers per hour. In other words, this car takes 1 hour in order to cover a distance of 20 kilometers. Now it's your turn to practice. I want you to copy the exercise and you follow the model as before. Make sure to follow the model, and I have put blanks for you, and you have to fill it up to make sure that you divide correctly. Now you will do the same for practice 3. You copy the exercise and you follow the model as before. Make sure to put the units and to fill the spaces that I have left for you. I must see them on your copybook. Now we have come to the end. I want to see on your copybook the following: the title Speed and the date April 14, 2020. You put the speed and you underline it, and then I want you to put the definition of speed. Then under it you put the formula and you put speed equals distance over time with the units. After that, you put practice 1, you solve it. Practice 2, you solve it. Practice 3, you solve it. I want to see all of these on your copybook to consider your assignment done. Now you have to try it yourself by using a stopwatch and distance in order to measure your speed. I want you to use the timer in order to see the time needed for you to cover a certain distance. Let's say going down and up the stairs, or you, for example, going through the corridor or the pathway in your house or the corridor. You get a tape ruler and you measure the distance. You use a stopwatch to measure the time, and then you calculate your speed. I want to see it as a video, please. That's all for today. Enjoy your time.